All right, everybody, this is Mark, NFIP Flood Adjuster, and I'm making this video to show you guys real quickly exactly the best way to document your contents claim so that you get your contents documented easily, fairly, quickly. And the whole idea of this is to present this to file reviewers in a way that they can easily see exactly what the documented loss was, so that it's easy for them to adjust that loss and say yes. We're looking for an easy yes. So if we document things in the best way, you're going to find that you have very little trouble getting those contents paid fully as documented. Okay, so for everyone who has a contents claim, at least I've emailed you this contents form, right? This folder that has a bunch of stuff in it. Here's what's in it. There are 3 sample photos just to show you how to label them, a detailed revised inventory sheet instructions, and then a personal property worksheet if you want to do it by handwriting it before you put it into Excel. I personally find that to be a wasted step. I'd rather work off a laptop myself. And then, of course, the blank spreadsheet and a filled out contents spreadsheet that we use as an example. So the first thing we're going to do is show you the example, and here it is. This is the sample flood content spreadsheet, and I'll go over real quickly and show you kind of what it is. These are columns. So if you highlight the top, the E, F, G, H, it highlights that entire column, and these are rows. Okay, now I'm going to make these rows a little bit wider so that you can see easier. Okay, these are your rows, and these are your columns. Column 1 is the name of the room, okay? And then you'll notice that when we fill out the thing, we do all the bedroom stuff first before we do anything else in any other room. So you always want to document this in order of room. You don't want to skip from one room to another, and the reason is when this is absorbed up into the program that NFIP uses, then it's done by room. And if you have bedroom, and then a garage, and then another garage, and then another bedroom, then a garage, then a bedroom. Each time it does that, it'll create a separate room. So you might have 25, 30 different rooms, which is obviously not how many rooms you have in your house. So it's always required to do it in order. So do all of your bedroom before you do even the first garage item, okay? Then you're going to notice quantity. This is how many of each item. So if you've got a pile of bedding, there's one pile of bedding. That one pile of bedding, if you look over here at the estimated value, that one pile of bedding is $285. If you look here at the various tools, there is one lot of various tools. That's not saying that there's just one tool, but there's one lot of various tools, and they cost $89. If you look here, there's one exercise mat, and each exercise mat, one each, cost $1,300. That's probably not right. We just use that as an example. There's one mower, and it's a Craftsman with a model number and a serial number, bought from Sears, and it costs $289. If you had 3 mowers, you would not make this say $900 or $1,100, whatever it is. You would still make it say $389, and the computer's going to multiply the 3 times the $389. Okay, you're not going to see that. It's only when it's absorbed in the computer and uploaded does that happen. Okay. So the each always has to say the same. The item description, we're looking for a very general description. So a ProVac, a curb trimmer, a snowblower. We don't need it to say Craftsman snowblower model 247887, whatever it is, right? Just a snowblower. Right here in the comments section is where you might throw in a URL. Let's say that you've got an exercise mat and it's super expensive. And you might think that the reviewer will look at that and go, come on, man, there's no such thing as a $1,300 exercise mat. Well, you could go on to the internet and you could find an exercise mat. Okay, and we're going to find one here at Great Mats. Okay, this is a really good exercise mat. And you're going to find one that costs $1,300 because that's the one you've got. Let's say this is it. And let's say this was $1,300 and this is your exercise mat. You would simply cut and paste. So you'd highlight the URL up here where the address is. You're going to right click and hit copy. You're going to come back to your spreadsheet. And right in there, you're going to right click and hit paste. Now the file reviewer can go and look exactly at the website that shows your $1,300 exercise mat. Now, obviously, that's not what we did, but I'm just using it as an example. For high-ticket items like this zero-turn rider mower and this power bike, right, that's $1,800, you might want to show them exactly where you bought it. Why? Because that's a great way to document your loss. The more specific and detailed you can be in documenting your loss, the less likely someone reviewing your file is going to think that it might not be accurate. So that's a great thing to do. All right. Now, here you're going to have make and model, serial numbers, where you purchased it from, and then the estimated unit cost. Now, the one thing that I would tell everybody is don't make all these $200, $300, $400, $500, $600. Make them a fairly accurate price, $285, $89, $163, $219, because that way it doesn't look like you're just making up numbers, okay? We know that you're probably rounding off to the nearest $5 or so, but do try to do that as accurate as possible, okay? Now, once you have this done, you're going to just hit File and Save. You're going to save the file, okay? Save it into the spreadsheet, all right? Now, let's look real quickly at some of the photos, all right? We want to learn how to properly label the photos so that they work properly. So you see right here, this photo of these tools is labeled 007. That's the name of the photo. Now, you can right-click and hit Rename, okay, and name this whatever you want it to be. Okay, but the reason we want this to be named, I'm going to right click, I'm going to hit rename, and I'm going to name it 007. Okay, now when we do that, here's why. If you look at the 007 line item, so 007 is right here, number 7. It's various tools. So that photo 007 matches the line item in the rows here. All right. So if you look at 35, this is a picture of an Indian. If you go to line item 35, right here, you see an Indian painting. Okay? Right there, Indian painting. If you go here, and number 106 is 2 photos of watches. We go down here to 106, and you're going to see a watch. And there's 2 of them. And each watch costs $459. Okay? So all the photos you have for all the different items will be numbered just like this. Always 3 numbers, a 0, and a 7, a 0, a 3, and a 5, a 1, a 0, and a 6. And of course, that'll take you all the way up to 999. I've never seen more photos than that. So a couple things to remember. You can have like items like this. This picture shows, a bunch of tools. Now, they're similar items. It's a tool set, right? And so you can take one picture and then put the value of all those tools together in one line item. Okay, if you've got a pile of blue jeans, you can take a picture of 7 blue jeans and put lot of blue jeans. One lot equals $460 if that's how much all of the blue jeans in that photo cost. All right, but you can't put mixed items. Like you can't have a picture of a lawnmower, then a picture of and in that same picture you've got a mattress, and then you've got 2 chairs, and then you've got a TV, right? And then you put all these items in one line item would be X amount of dollars. You have to separate them. And in that case, when you have one photo that has multiple things in it, like you see this has watches in it, this also has a lock in it. Let's say that lock was worth $10. Here's what we do. We take this same photo, I'm going to right click it and hit duplicate. All right? And then I'm going to name this line item 125. All right, 125. So I'm going to make this 125, and I've created a separate photo. It's the same photo, but I've given it another line item, made a second photo, and then right here in the living room, I'm going to have 1 EA each. I'm sorry. Well, let's just keep going. Of a lock. And that lock cost me $10. Boom, I just did it. There it is. So that's how you can make, if one photo has 3 or 4 different things in it, you just duplicate the photo, and then you name it for each line item you've got. Maybe 119 has one in it, right? So the same photo named multiple times corresponding to different individual items in that photo. That's how you would do that, okay? Pretty simple, pretty easy. So once you've done all that, you're going to save that. I'm going to save it right here. And of course, now I have one folder, Contents Forms, right there. And how do I get it to my adjuster? So here's what we do. We go to Dropbox, okay? Now I've already signed in. I'm going to go ahead and sign out and show you what it looks like when you come to Dropbox. So when you just go to Dropbox, if you don't have an account at Dropbox, and you'll just type in dropbox.com, you go to Dropbox, all right? Now, you could get Dropbox Basic if that's what you need, or you can sign in. If you already have a Dropbox account, you know how to do this, you would click sign in. If you don't, you're going to hit get Dropbox basic. At that point, you're just going to put your name, you're going to put your email address, right? And then you're going to put a password, whatever you want your password to be. You're going to agree and then hit create an account. Now, obviously, I already got an account, so I'm going to log in. Once you log in, and I'm going to do it with my adjusting account. There it is. And I sign in. Then you're going to be looking at this page, okay? I'm going to go to the Files section here. Okay? And this is how you upload a file. So I know on my sheet, I've got the contents forms right here in this folder. Okay, that's where they live. Now, in order to send it to an adjuster, I'm going to click New Folder right here. I'm going to create a folder, and I'm going to name it. My last name's Smith. My first name is George, and I'm going to say Contents Claim. Okay, so now I've created a folder, and now I got to put files in that folder. So I'm going to double click on this. Okay, and it's empty. Now I'm just going to upload the files. So I'm going to upload the files here. I'm going to go to my desktop because I know that's where that is. And I'm using a Macintosh computer. You could be using Windows. It might look a little different, but the idea is the same. Find where you've put that folder. Okay, mine's on my desktop. Here's the contents forms, and I want to send all these photos. And I also want to send. I'm just going to send it all. Okay. And I'm going to load it all up. I'm going to hit choose. And now it's going to start loading. You can see where it's uploading the files into that folder. So all the photos and your spreadsheet just all go in that same folder. Okay. You can see it uploading here. I'm using a cellular connection, so it's going slower than it normally would for Wi-Fi. So now I've got them all uploaded. Okay. So I'm going to click to my files again. Go back to here on the left, the files. And now I can see the folder. So the folder's there. George Smith Contents Claim. That's you, the insured. If I click in there, I'm going to see everything I want to send to my adjuster is in there. So I'm going to go back to my files. And here's what I do. This is the easy part. Again, it's going slower because I'm on cellular connection. So right here, once I come over and hover over it, you see this share button come up? So I hover over and I hit share. Now I'm going to send this to my adjuster. So I'm going to send this to mark.maggard@gpsclaims.com. Now if you're my insured, okay, if you're one of my clients, you would send it there. If you're my father, we work as a team, but he would be mike.maggard@gpsclaims.com. Or whatever the email is that your adjuster has given you to submit the claim. So mark.maggard@gpsclaims.com, and I hit share. Boom, that's done. Now what happens is Dropbox is going to email me a notice saying that George Smith has shared this with you. Do you want to accept it? Of course I'm going to accept it. And then I now have access to all those files. So I can then upload your photos, I can upload your sample sheet right into the NFIP computer on your behalf, and that's how we quickly and easily get your contents claim paid for. Okay? So that's it. If you have any questions, you can call your adjuster. I'm sure all of us are here to help any way we can. But that's the basics of how to properly document your contents claim and get it sent via Dropbox to your adjuster. The reason we don't use email is because these photos are rather large. And we don't know exactly how many photos you're sending when you do it via email. So if you put everything in that one folder, then both sides, you and me, can both see what was put in there. And we know that we've got everything that we're supposed to, and there's no email issues with large amounts of email files being sent. So this is by far the best way. If you have any questions, contact your adjuster, and good luck with you guys.